Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be discussing belly fat. If you are someone who has been struggling with stubborn belly fat and just cannot get it off no matter what you do, this is a video that you don't want to miss. So these things are not talked about enough, and in this video, I'm going to be compacting all the information that you need to start losing that belly fat. And as a bonus, this is not only for belly fat, but it's also for weight loss. So I have been using these strategies personally for my clients, and all of these strategies have helped me personally lose 50 pounds and actually keep it off and keep my belly fat off. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down nutrition, mindset strategies, fitness. I'm breaking everything down and I'm talking about the whole shebang. You're going to need all this information and all of these tools to start losing your belly fat and actually keep it off. Many of us think that just because we have children, we have to be stuck with a belly that we just don't desire. We're going to be talking about how we are going to be losing our belly fat and getting that flat belly that we deserve. And of course, make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I have additional information and resources for you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this informational video. So what we're going to be learning is the truth about belly fat and why it's so stubborn. Yes, intermittent fasting and nutrition strategies, strength training for fat loss and body toning, and lifestyle habits that make a real difference. Okay, let's break down what we're going to be actually discussing today so you guys know what we're getting into. Let's talk about the truth about belly fat. So belly fat, poor diet, stress, hormones, especially cortisol. Okay, cortisol is a stress hormone. Genetics and aging contribute to fat accumulation, especially in the midsection. So we have two types of fat. We have subcutaneous fat, which is the fat that sits beneath the skin, acting as a cushion or an energy reserve. So that fat is actually there to protect us to a certain extent, okay? So that fat is good fat. And then we have visceral fat. So visceral fat is the more dangerous fat. So visceral fat surrounds the organs and is more harmful, okay? That increases inflammation and disease. Someone will say, I lost a lot of weight, but it's so hard for me to lose this stubborn fat. Why can't I lose this fat? So that is actually visceral fat that they still have surrounding their organs, which is the most dangerous. But luckily, visceral fat is the easiest to target. You lose that first. You lose that when you sweat out or you urinate. The visceral fat is the first to come off when you're losing weight. We have that belly pooch. That's going to be our subcutaneous fat, the one that you can actually pinch. And then when we talk about poor diet, stress, hormones, and things like that, our gut says a lot about us. So our sleep plays a huge role in our belly fat. So our belly fat is here. It's actually telling us a lot about ourselves and telling us that we need to make some changes, okay? Understanding more about belly fat, more information for you guys. So let's talk about it. Belly fat affects more than just appearance, okay? Visceral fat is metabolically active. It impacts your overall health by disrupting metabolism, increasing inflammation, and raising risk of diseases like diabetes and heart issues, okay? Believe it or not. And lifestyle choices play a key role. We're going to have insulin resistance, which means it's going to be hard for us to lose weight, okay? So the more fat we have, the more hard it is for us to lose weight because we're still stuck in that, that mindset of being stressed and eating bad. That's really going to cause us some problems. Moving right along, let's talk about intermittent fasting. I said this is one of my favorite modules because this is what actually helped me keep off my fat. And I'm a foodie. I love to eat. And believe it or not, intermittent fasting does not focus on what you eat. It focuses on when you eat. So let's talk about it. So like I said, intermittent fasting is an eating pattern that cycles between fasting and eating periods. So there's various methods of intermittent fasting. So you have the 16-8 method where you fast for 16 hours and eating within an 8-hour window. Also with that, you can do things like a 17-7 method. You can do the 20-24 method. You don't actually have to strictly do the 16-8 method, but that's where I started personally. Some people like to start with the 12-12. So they fast for 12 hours, and that's easier because, you're sleeping. Hopefully you're sleeping for about 8 hours a night. And then you go on throughout your day getting ready for another 4 hours, and you don't eat until after 12 hours. So that's a good place to start. If you have trouble snacking at night, that's a good way to start because that's going to eliminate the snacking time. And then you have the 5-2 diet, where you're eating normally for 5 days a week and restricting calorie intake to around 500 to 600 calories on 2 non-consecutive days. Then you have alternate day fasting, fasting every other day or consuming very few calories on fasting days. That's also another great option. And then let's talk about OMAD. Okay, so OMAD is 1 meal a day, and it's exactly how it sounds. You're going to eat one large meal a day, and then you're going to fast for the remaining 23 hours. So it doesn't have to be 23 hours. If it takes you an hour and a half to eat the large meal, that's perfectly fine. So you're going to be consuming a large meal a day. So let's say that large meal consists of like 1,500 calories, and then you're going to not eat for the rest of the day. Or you can do 2 meals a day, which is my favorite. Like I said in the beginning, it doesn't strictly focus on what you eat, but it focuses on when you eat. So I'm not saying that during your eating window you should go for pizza, ice cream, cakes. You should still eat nutritious meals, but it's not really that important. So that's why I say intermittent fasting is such a great thing, because you are burning a lot of your stored fat. You're burning the visceral fat, the subcutaneous fat. You're burning all the fat when you're fasting. So we're going to start focusing on portion control over calorie counting. So what you need to know is that you don't need to track every single calorie to lose weight. Instead, what you can do is follow the plate method, where you focus on portion sizes and you make smart food swaps. Like, say for instance, you swap out white rice and you do cauliflower rice instead. That's a good option because cauliflower rice has very low calories compared to white rice. Don't step on the scale. I just focus on how my clothes fit, how I look in the mirror, and I also do bi-weekly photos. When you do count calories, that's actually going to pinpoint, where you're making errors in your diet. But especially when you're first starting off, you don't need to track your calories. So as long as you are focusing on smart food swaps and you're swapping out, pizza, like things that that are unhealthy. I know there's a lot of people that say, carbs are unhealthy, or they think that fats are unhealthy. Those things do not need to be cut off. Sometimes, yes, you can restrict them, but we're going to keep those things, all three of those macronutrients in our diet, because they are so vital. They are so important, and neither of those macronutrients are more important than the other one. We're going to be talking about strength training and movements. Now, these things are so important when it comes to losing weight, losing our belly fat, most importantly. So strength training reshapes your body and boosts your metabolism. Now, some people think that it's all about cardio. You need to do cardio, cardio, cardio. You need to be a cardio queen to lose weight. But I'm here to say that's not true. Actually, steady state cardio like swimming and walking actually helps you burn that stored fat. So when you do like HIIT workouts or you're running for a long time, that actually burns off the food that you just ate first before it targets the stored fat. So if you pair strength training with steady state cardio like walking, that's going to help your body burn fat, lose weight, lose that belly fat really, really fast. So you don't necessarily have to pick up weights, because you can train with just body weight. That's also a good option. Doing HIIT workouts. There's a lot of different ways that you can, like I said, get creative, make it fun. You should always have fun when it comes to working out. Like, it shouldn't be something like, oh my God, I got to do this again. No, you should be excited, excited to work out. Give yourself about 4 weeks to create that habit. We need that habit. Okay. We need the habit to create the habit, and we're going to start enjoying working out, believe it or not. So just give yourself time. We're going to be talking about staying motivated and ways to make progress. Okay. So staying motivated on your fitness journey requires tracking progress beyond the scale. So me personally, I use a journal. You can buy a journal. You can go ahead and get one off of Google. You can use different ways to track your progress, and that is going to keep you motivated. I noticed a huge spike in my overall fitness when I started tracking my progress. We actually see the things that we journal in the past. That is what's going to help us mentally, and we're going to celebrate that and feel good about that small win. Myths about losing belly fat. Believe it or not, the natural way is the way to go. So let's talk about spot reducing belly fat. Your body actually chooses where to pull fat from. So some people might lose fat in their arms first when they start losing weight. Some people might lose fat first in their stomachs when they start losing weight. And unfortunately, some people might start losing weight first in their butts when they start losing weight. You can't spot reduce belly fat. What you could do is lose fat from all over your body And if you, for example, if you lose your butt first when you start losing your weight, you could focus on building your glutes, like doing workouts to build your glutes. Let's talk about waist trainers and corsets. Most people think that waist trainers and corsets burn belly fat. So these waist trainers only compress your waist temporarily. It's like one of those garments that people use. It just compresses, your midsection momentarily, and then the moment you eat, your your midsection just gonna go poof, it's gonna come right back. Waist trainers don't help you lose belly fat. So if you have a waist trainer, you can still use it to help keep your core engaged. You can still use corsets or a waist trainer to help you keep your posture straight, because some people have postural issues. Corsets can be very, very dangerous for your organs, so I would definitely stay away from corsets or anything that's going to over compress where you can't breathe. That's not going to be healthy, especially if you're working out. So when you do cardio like HIIT training or you do running, that is going to help you burn more calories in that session. But actually, strength training, while you burn less calories when you strength training is going to help you burn calories even after you're done working out. So like when you're just sitting on a couch after your session, hours and hours and hours throughout the day, hours later, you're still burning calories through that session, because like I said, the more muscle that you have, the more calories you burn. So we touched on it before, the role of nutrition, what to eat, and what you need to be avoiding if you want to lose that stubborn belly fat. So we talked about a balanced diet and why it's essential. And when you work out, your body actually creates small tears, and your body needs to repair those tears. Meal timing and portion control, and why that matters. When we are prioritizing protein and we're having protein in every meal, for about 40 grams of protein in our breakfast, 40 grams of protein in our lunch, 40 grams of protein in our dinner, we're going to consume about 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body fat. And that depends on your overall goals or your starting weight and things like that. But sometimes I say that 1 gram of protein per pound of body fat is overkill. So let's just aim for 0.8 grams per pound of body fat. Hydration supports metabolism and digestion. I like to drink a gallon a day. Some people can't drink that much, but the reason why you can't drink that much is because you're trying to just down it all at once. But the more water you drink, the more you'll go to the bathroom, the more you're urinating out the fat. That's another way that the fat leaves your body, through urination. So the more water you drink, the more it's going to help your body get rid of that unnecessary fat. Sustainability is key for long-term success. We want to enjoy our lives. Like, we don't want to be that one sitting at the dinner table like, oh, I can't have the cake because I'm on a diet. Okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to enjoy, if we're in a social situation, go ahead and have that treat. But make sure you're not overindulging in that cake that you're eating. Have your favorite food, okay? I want you to do that, but don't make it an everyday thing. I'm saying it's okay to eat it in moderation, but instead of having a treat that you have to help you wind down and relax, like you're having a brownie every night with wine, I want you to start with having it every other night, and then in turn have it every weekend. Okay, you guys, I know you gathered a lot of information from this video, and as promised, I have additional information for you guys. So what if I told you that there was more information? This video actually summed up everything that you need to start seeing results. I have launched a mini course for you guys to start seeing those results. So this mini course is going to be packed with information, packed with resources. I'm not only going to be talking about nutrition, fitness, and mindset strategies, but we're going to be talking about allergies. We're going to be breaking down what belly fat is and why it's so hard to get rid of. In addition to that mini course, I also have a flat belly guide. So this blueprint is going to have everything broken down for you guys. And as a special bonus to that guide, you're going to have a 30-day fitness plan and nutrition guide. So go ahead and take full advantage of that mini course and that guide. Of course, thank you so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if there's anything that I missed, anything else that you want me to talk about, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.